Hi. It was occurring to me. Like, yeah, it has occurred multiple times, but I don't know. I just feel the need to put it out there for some reason. I don't know. Maybe just for me to feel fulfilled and gain some clarity on what I'm talking. Also, maybe I don't know. But yeah. So the point being, it is of this very negative cycle of comparison that we always end up doing, right? Like for example, like uh, why am I not blessed with something like this? Why am I not blessed with something like that? Why me? All this blame game. And oh, had I been like that, I would have done that. So there is, because of this one thing, right? See what all the impacts it can have, right? Like, you tend to not appreciate life for what it is. You have no sense of gratitude. You take things for granted, no matter how blessed you are, no matter where you come from. Yes, of course, somebody is more blessed. Somebody has a far ahead starting point. Even if you want to call it a starting point, like, I'm using that word because a lot of people feel that certain things that they want, if others have, then they have gotten ahead. But maybe that's not what they wanted also, right? So yeah, again, that is very subjective, but yeah, it is something like this entire plethora of comparison, right? Like comparing body, comparing profession, comparing gift, comparing this, that, abcd, like, you can just keep on going, right? Like, but just look at the futility of comparison, right? Like, if you can just see it clearly for what it does, it comes from lack of acceptance, right? I think, in my experience, it is very clear to me that it comes from lack of acceptance of where we are, from where we come from, and multitude of other things, right? So sheer lack of acceptance makes us compare, right? It should have been that. It is good. It is good to acknowledge that we are stuck here, right? Only then can you even actually come out of it. But it's a very core problem. Okay. So what can be done is usually, you need some other mental model, right? Like, if you are stuck in a mental model and you want your reality to change, then of course your mindset, or the things that you think, the models you have built, the beliefs you have, need to change. Otherwise, your actions cannot change, and if your actions don't change, your life cannot change, right? It's very simple, but we take a lot of time. Okay, I've been in that boat. I am still in the boat. There is always something I want to evolve something within me, right? There is always something within me that I want to improve, right? So all these things are always there. The Again, the other mistake I feel is, we feel, oh, there is a destination to reach. No, the journey itself is the destination. Okay, it may seem very paradoxical. It may seem very counterintuitive. It is, because it is. Okay, I've been through very strong emotions where I feel stuck, where I felt stuck, where I felt it's worthless, like all the complete negative set of emotions. Okay, and I know the pain of it. Okay, and I'm only telling it from my experience. Okay, so, and don't take my word. The only thing I would want from this expression of mine probably is to see the glass is half full and not as half empty. In a sense, that's what, because that's the only thing. See, the reality is, it is half empty. That statement is also true. It is half full. That statement is also true. But one of it serves you. One of the other statement does not serve you. So why would you do anything which does not serve you, right? Like, everything that you're doing now is to serve yourself, right? So you need to see that very clearly. Okay, when that happens, okay, and suppose you get in the loop of comparison, what would help? Now you need a different mental model, right? So just look at the other lives that are here, right? The plethora of variety that exists, the plethora of different forms that exist. And I don't have to tell you, right? Just think about microorganisms, plants, soil, earth, galaxies, animals, and even in animals, the different categories. You can just keep going, right? And now place yourself. And now put yourself in the shoes of where you are, right? With the current mindset you have and all of those things, correct? Then you feel so small, so tiny, right? Actually, we are, but in our head, we feel the things that we are stuck with or the things we are doing is one of the most important things. Even if I'm not here, you're not here, and many of the crores of people also die tomorrow, nothing is going to affect, nothing is going to change. We saw that, we have been seeing that there have been wars, there have been crores of millions of people who have been dying, millions of people who are being born, right? Even in the recent past, like we saw disease that come through, took away many people. We went through the phase of resentment, grief, everything, but the world keeps going, right? Even crores is like a fraction for the world, right? Like we are 850 crore people on this planet, and God knows, I can't even put a number to the number of species in the water and the microorganisms and all of it. So it's massive. It's completely massive. So just see that, and when you see that, then what will happen is you realize, oh, there's so much variety, okay? And even I'm a very unique individual, right? But again, this is all with data and facts. I'm not telling some mumbo jumbo because I don't know any of other mystical or any of those aspects. None of it. I'm just telling from the data of the world we have seen. Okay, and again, every experience is very subjective, yes, but there's also a common thread of experiences, right? Like we all want happiness, we all want contentment, we don't want sadness, we don't want misery. Like there is a common set of, there's a trait of humans that we can say, oh, these are the things I am or a human is looking at. That much we can, I think, fairly tell. No problem. Okay. Now when you see that, right, like, okay, now you appreciate, right? You appreciate a lot of these insects, animals, the variety, right? You appreciate a giraffe for its height, right? I mean, for the things it can do because it is tall. There are, it can have more access to food or fruits on taller trees, and there may be many other benefits that the giraffe has, which probably a deer does not have, right? They look very similar. I mean, at least you can figure out they're same, in the kind of the way they look. I mean, you get the point, right? But a deer has its own advantages, right? Although it is short, although it is kind of scared most of the time, but we don't know, right? We still appreciate it when you see a deer. Oh, but yeah, we do appreciate a tiger more when you see it, or a lion, or something which is very, like a black panther, something which is scarce, something which is not available in common. Maybe if there were lions roaming around everywhere, we wouldn't care much. And giraffe is also rare, I'm not denying that, but you get the point, right? You get the point. Don't go into the words or the details, just get the thread behind all these words I'm telling, right? So when that happens, when you see that, and then you can also see a snake, and then just the way it moves, it's slithers, right? A frog, it kind of hops and jumps, and these are all different forms of movement. And a snail, just like a snail, it goes. But there is something to all these things, right? Like it's very unique. And can probably a snail even compete, or even would want to run as fast, even if it wanted to, as a, let's say, even an ant, right? Doesn't happen. Forget cheetah and all of it, right? So in essence, what I'm telling is, when you look at any organism, okay, you look at it for what it is, for its authentic, original, individual nature, right? And then you see how much of that quality it is trying to express it fully, right? That's all we are trying to do. So we intuitively also do not compare or do not put these animals in the same league for even comparison, right? I do not expect a black panther to an owl, all right? I mean, I'll not even compare a frog with, let's say, a lizard, right? I mean, you get the point, right? So most importantly is because intuitively we see the futility of comparison, correct? We see that very very clearly. We see that, hey, it's not serving any goddamn purpose, because it really does not, and it is really futile, right? So when you see the futility of comparison, that's when you drop comparison. And why should you drop comparison? Because it does not make any sense. And even in us, right, there is some quality which is extremely unique. Yeah, we are all humans with the same set of limbs, the same eyes, nose, mouth, hair, everything, right? But there is uniqueness, although we have similarity, right? Yes, we all are humans, we all look alike, but we are massively different, right? Don't confuse yourself into thinking that, oh, just because we are humans, we all have ABCD. We all are massively different. Just like there is a similarity between us and animals in the form of, yes, we all eat, we all reproduce, we all live for a certain lifespan, and then we all die, and we all were born in the first place. So that's why we even get to experience all this. So there is you can always use this counter and say, yes, there is also similarity. Yes, acknowledge the similarity, but at the same time, why are you not acknowledging the differences, right? And only because of the differences does each individual or organism become unique. So that is what we are missing, I guess, right? So if there is something, right, and these things cannot be told because it's very unique. Nobody understands you, nobody gets you, nobody. You see the logical futility of comparison, right? Because nobody can understand you, nobody can tell you. You can't ask anybody. You shouldn't ask anybody. So when that happens, and you kind of see for yourself what is it that you really want, what makes you feel alive, what gives you contentment, what gives you joy. That's what everybody is looking at. So when that happens, then you try to express that fully, correct? Because that's what you are, that's what you were meant to do, those were the qualities you were blessed with, gifted with. When I say blessed or gifted, I'm not saying in terms of somebody came and put their hand on your head and say, hey, this is what you're meant to do. I don't know all of it, I don't know any of it. But we cannot deny the fact that we were given certain traits because of which we have an advantage or a disadvantage compared to others. That we cannot deny. But the sooner you accept this fact, yes, that you are different, yes, that you cannot do certain things that somebody else can do, but you can also do certain things that somebody else cannot do. The sooner you acknowledge this, the better it is for you. Otherwise, you are always going to be a fish, right, who was supposed to be in water, but who was put in land and asked to race with somebody else. I can give you multiple examples like that. You get the point, right? You're always going to be in that way. Just find your authentic voice, just find your individual calling and go behind it. Do it. Don't think about who will think what, whatever, because that is their hanebara, their destiny, right? Can't help. So you do your thing, okay? You find your authentic self-expression and do it. That is the only and only way you can find true contentment, and from there comes all the nice things: fulfillment, peace, clarity, wanting to live well, and all of those things, right? These are good things. You want to live well, right? It's a very short period of time, so you want to live well, and why not make the best use of it when you're here? Like, we're hardly here for a few more years, man. Like, we don't know where we go, we don't know where we come from, but when we are here, I think it's just best to feel alive, right? You have no option when you are dead, whether you want to feel alive or not. But at least when you're alive, you have an option whether you want to feel alive or you want to die. Wiser thing is to be alive, no? It's much better. So just do that. I think it's magical. Again, this is not my advice. I am totally against this concept of do what somebody else says. But again, it is paradoxical also. It looks like I am giving advice. No, it is not giving advice. I am just telling my truth. Okay, and you as a human are also a human. You may find some connectedness, okay, some resonance or whatever, and that may help you find your own authentic self. I cannot ever do that to anybody, neither can somebody do to me. Okay, but the only direction I can give is to find your own direction. It's all paradoxical. Yes, it is. It is again paradoxical. You may call me a hypocrite. I mean, then you're not getting the point. But yes, it's very, very important. Do not compare. Do not compare. You're extremely valuable. You're extremely unique. You are meant to do what you are meant to do. Only when you do what you are meant to do will you feel the things you're always looking out for. Will you get the things you are always looking out for? So it's a subtle, nice, fine, balanced line that you need to thread. With its own journey comes its own teachings that you need to go through individually, and that will teach you many, 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 many more things. Right? So yeah, please don't compare and live really well each day. It's really worth it. It's really amazing. I can't tell you how amazing it is. Okay.